Hi everybody, Fred Mastison with Hook and Barrel Magazine with you today. Years ago when Ruger launched the American rifle, it was a hit. Bomb-proof, very accurate, very rugged, very likable rifle has served Ruger extremely well. And for most companies, that would be enough. They would take the success they have and just ride the accolades, but that is not the Ruger way. What they did was they listened to the end users on fine-tuning type details. And now, after all those years, Ruger is now introducing the Ruger American Generation 2. Let's take a look. So out of the box, in my personal opinion, the only similarities between the American Generation 1 and Generation 2 is that they're both bolt guns. Aesthetically, they're very different. And mechanically, there are some very, very nice advances on the Gen 2 that I want to talk about. So first up, visually, the first thing we see is this unique stock that's different than the American Gen 1. Aesthetically, it's very nice. It has this texture on it, though, that's more than just for aesthetics. It's got a little raise to it, allows me to get good purchase on the gun without it really chewing at my hands. This is great for hunters. We get out, our hands are wet. We need to get good purchase on the gun without it slipping around. It does a good job, but without being too aggressive. Moving back on the gun, we have an interesting back end. The Gen 2 has a cheek riser, has a cheek piece that can be put on and taken off. This is really nice because that's a challenge when we want to get down on glass. We want to get a good cheek well that puts us in line with their optic. Generation 2 solves that. On the end of the gun, we've got a for real butt pad. Now, what I mean by that is some companies just check a box by putting on a quote-unquote recoil pad. This Gen 2 pad is for real. I've shot this gun extensively, and it's very, very soft shooting. I know we hear that a lot, but it's the absolute truth. I shot this gun extensively, and the soft recoil pad really allows me to manage the recoil. Now, moving up the gun, we have something that I consider to be the most innovative part of the advanced in this Gen 2, and that is this 3-position safety. There are times when we're in the backcountry, we're out hunting, and we have our gun loaded and ready to roll because we know we're coming up on an animal. Maybe during a stalk, but a piece of brush hits that gun, rocks that bolt back, and we don't even know it. The round falls out. We come up on that animal of lifetime. We bring our gun up, our bolt's back, and our round is gone. That is very disheartening. So what this does, in a full locked position, it actually locks the bolt closed. That keeps us from having to worry about bumping this on something. In a 1 position forward now, the gun is still unsafe, but allows me to manipulate the bolt. And of course, going forward, we can press the trigger and fire the round. I really like that feature. While we're in this area, the bolt on the gun is very smooth, no chatter in it whatsoever. We have a screw-on type bolt knob, so you can change this if you like. You want to get something that fits your hands a little bit better. I find this bolt knob to fit me pretty well. Down below us, we have a Ruger trigger on it, which is really nice because it's tunable. It allows me to change it from about 3-ish pounds, I think it's about 3.5 pounds, all the way up to 5. I found the trigger to break very cleanly. Ruger's always done a good job with their triggers. Moving forward on the gun, I have a detachable 3-round box magazine. It ran really well. It fed perfectly. It had no issues whatsoever. I took this gun on a backcountry hunt in Texas for scimitar orcs, and it served me well. Now, obviously, one of the most aesthetically catching items on the gun is the barrel. This is a stainless fluted barrel. It's very nice. The fluting does a couple things. Primarily, it reduces weight, allows us to keep a gun under a certain weight. But beyond that, it allows it to have a little more surface area for cooling too. Now, I realize we're not going to be shooting this round after round, but it matters. At the end of the barrel, we have the Ruger radial muzzle brake, which worked extremely well. But what I like about this is the brake can come off. It allows me to run the gun suppressed. Now, during testing, I did run the gun suppressed. I ran a silencer central Banish 30 on the gun, and it was a perfect match. It fit extremely well. Top of the gun, We've got a very solid, well-made Picatinny rail we can mount our glass on. For this one, I'm running a Vortex Strike Eagle. As you notice, I've got the diving board platform on it. I do like to put a few extra gadgets on my glass. If I'm out on a hunt that's very special, I want to get all the data and everything that I can to make that happen. This Vortex Ruger combo works extremely well. Overall, I think Ruger did an extremely good job with this gun. Rare is the day that you can evolve a successful rifle into something that's even more successful, but I think that Ruger's did a good job. So I'll tell you what, if you're looking for a new hunting rifle, or heck, even a rifle just for the range, I would take a good hard look at the Ruger American Generation 2. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So until I see you again, stay safe.